Good morning/afternoon/evening, everyone. I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes for a second, and think about this. Where do you see yourself a year from now? Not where others expect you to be, not where society says you should be, but where you want to be. Now open your eyes. The time to get there is now. Too often we wait for the perfect moment. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I feel ready, when things settle down, when I have more time. But let me tell you this, there is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is the moment you decide to take action. You are not defined by your past, your failures, or the doubts that creep into your mind. You are defined by what you do next. And what you do next should be about becoming a better version of yourself before 2025 arrives. Your story is yours alone. It's shaped by every triumph, every setback, every late-night doubt, and every moment of strength you never knew you had. It's a journey only you have walked, a narrative only you can tell. And yet, how often do we hesitate to own our story? How often do we shrink parts of ourselves to fit into someone else's expectations? How often do we downplay our experiences, our struggles, or even our victories because we fear judgment or rejection? The truth is, owning your story is one of the most powerful things you can do. It's about embracing every part of yourself, the good, the bad, the messy, the extraordinary. It's about standing tall in your truth unapologetically and fearlessly. Because no one else can tell your story the way you can. No one else has lived your life. No one else has felt what you've felt, learned what you've learned, or dreamed the way you have. Too often we let the world dictate how we should see ourselves. We measure our worth by society's standards, by what others think of us, by what the world tells us is enough. We edit our personalities to fit into spaces that weren't even meant for us. We silence our voices when we should be speaking up. But why? Why do we let others hold the pen to a story that was never theirs to write? It's easy to celebrate the parts of our story that shine, the accomplishments, the happy moments, the victories. But true self-ownership comes when you can also acknowledge the hard parts, the struggles, the losses, the heartbreaks. These moments don't define you, but they are part of you. And when you own them, they lose their power over you. They no longer hold you back. Instead, they become stepping stones, lessons that make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Owning your story also means freeing yourself from comparison. In a world where everyone's life is on display, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. Someone always seems to be doing better, achieving more, living a life that looks perfect from the outside. But comparison is an illusion. No one's story is the same. No one's journey is meant to look like yours. And the moment you stop measuring your worth by someone else's timeline is the moment you truly step into your power. You are not here to be a copy of someone else. You are not here to fit into a mold. You are here to live your truth, to tell your story in a way that is raw, real, and uniquely yours. And when you do that, when you fully embrace who you are, you give others permission to do the same. You inspire people not by being perfect, but by being authentic, by showing that growth is messy, that success comes with struggle, that strength is built in the moments we refuse to give up. So don't wait for validation. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone else to tell you that your story matters, because it does, every part of it. Own it, live it, speak it, because the world doesn't need another version of someone else. The world needs you. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many dreams have you placed on hold, waiting for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, the feeling of being fully ready? We all do it. We convince ourselves that we need more time, more knowledge, more resources, more confidence. But the truth is, waiting doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't bring us closer to our goals. It doesn't make us stronger. It doesn't make things easier. It just keeps us stuck in the same place, watching opportunities pass us by. The idea of waiting feels comfortable. It gives us a sense of control, a way to justify our hesitation. But deep down, we know the reality. Waiting is just fear in disguise, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of stepping into the unknown. And fear, if we let it, will keep us from ever taking that first step. It will keep us dreaming instead of doing, planning instead of executing. And before we know it, days turn into months, months turn into years, and we're still standing in the same place, wondering where all that time went. There is no perfect time to start. There is no magical moment where everything aligns and you suddenly feel ready. The truth is, readiness comes from action, not the other way around. You become ready by starting. You gain confidence by doing. You grow by stepping forward, even when you're uncertain. Every successful person you admire, every artist, entrepreneur, leader, began with uncertainty. They didn't wait until they had all the answers. They didn't wait for guarantees. They simply took the leap, trusting that they would figure things out along the way. Action is what separates those who succeed from those who spend their lives wondering, what if? It doesn't have to be a massive leap. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. A small step, a decision, a move in the direction of your dreams. The more you act, the more momentum you build. And once you build momentum, you become unstoppable. Think about all the time you've spent overthinking, doubting yourself, wondering if you're good enough. What if instead you had used that time to take even the smallest step forward? Imagine where you'd be today if you had started a year ago, 5 years ago. But here's the good news. It's not too late. It never is. What matters is what you do now. What matters is the choice you make today, in this moment. The key is to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're ready. Stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion. Growth is messy. Progress is imperfect. But none of it happens if you don't start. The excuses you tell yourself, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't know where to begin, they are just that, excuses. And excuses will always be there if you look for them, but so will opportunities. It's up to you which one you choose to focus on. There will always be a reason to wait, always. But if you let those reasons hold you back, you'll never move. And the world needs you to move. The world needs your ideas, your talent, your unique voice. But none of that will make an impact if it stays locked inside your mind, trapped by hesitation. You owe it to yourself to step forward. Not next month, not next year, now. Because everything you want, everything you dream of, begins the moment you decide to stop waiting and start acting. Everything in life starts in the mind. Your mindset determines how you see yourself, how you handle challenges, how you push through obstacles, and ultimately how far you go. It is the foundation of everything you do. Without the right mindset, even the greatest opportunities can slip through your fingers, and even the smallest setbacks can feel like the end of the road. But with an unshakable mindset, no challenge is too big, no failure is permanent, and no dream is out of reach. Building a strong mindset isn't about ignoring difficulties or pretending that struggles don't exist. It's about how you respond to them. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your way, make you question your abilities, and push you to your limits. But the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck isn't intelligence, luck, or talent. It's the mindset they bring to every situation. Some people crumble under pressure, while others use that same pressure to become stronger. And the difference lies in what they choose to believe. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that failure is too painful to risk, then your actions will follow that belief. You'll hold yourself back, hesitate when you should move forward, and settle for less than you deserve. But if you tell yourself that you are capable, that failure is just a stepping stone, that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, then you become unstoppable. Because once your mind is unshakable, nothing can break you. One of the biggest threats to a strong mindset is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear is only as powerful as you allow it to be. It exists in your mind before it exists anywhere else. And the truth is, most of the things we fear never actually happen. We build them up in our heads, magnify them until they seem insurmountable, and let them hold us back from reaching our full potential. But when you refuse to let fear control you, when you decide that you will take action despite the fear, you take away its power. Resilience is another key to an unshakable mindset. Resilience means getting back up every time life knocks you down. It means understanding that failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's a necessary part of growth. Every successful person has failed, not once, but multiple times. The only difference is they didn't stop. They didn't let failure define them. They used it to learn, to adapt, to come back stronger. And that's what you have to do. If something doesn't work, adjust, try again, keep going. The only true failure is giving up. The way you speak to yourself matters. The words you use internally shape your confidence, your motivation, and your belief in what's possible. If you constantly criticize yourself, doubt yourself, and expect the worst, your mind will believe it. But when you speak to yourself with strength, when you remind yourself of your capabilities, when you replace doubt with belief, everything changes. Instead of thinking, I can do this, start saying, I will find a way. Instead of, I'm not ready, tell yourself, I am prepared to grow through this. Your mindset is strengthened through the words you repeat daily. You won't build an unshakable mindset overnight. It takes time, practice, and patience. But every single day you have a choice to feed your doubts or to build your belief. And the more you choose belief, the stronger your mindset becomes. The world will always test you, but when your mind is strong, nothing can break you. You are capable of more than you realize. You just have to decide right now that nothing will shake your belief in yourself. In a world that is constantly evolving, the only way to stay ahead is to keep learning, growing, and sharpening your skills. The people who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who refuse to stay stagnant. They are the ones who understand that knowledge and ability are not fixed. They can be developed, refined, and expanded. No matter where you are in life right now, there is always room to improve, always something new to learn, always another level to reach. The biggest mistake anyone can make is assuming that what they know today will be enough for tomorrow. The world doesn't stand still, and neither should you. Technology is changing, industries are shifting, and new opportunities are emerging every single day. The people who thrive are the ones who embrace this reality, who commit to lifelong learning, who continuously invest in themselves. They don't wait for someone to push them. They take initiative. They seek out new knowledge, challenge themselves, and step outside their comfort zones because they know that growth is never a passive process. Excuses won't get you anywhere. Saying you don't have time, that you're too busy, that you're already good enough, or that you'll start later. These are all just ways to avoid putting in the work. But the truth is, no one ever finds time. They make time. If something is important to you, you will prioritize it. And what could be more important than your own growth? Investing in your skills is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what sets you apart, what opens doors, what gives you the confidence to take on bigger challenges and step into bigger opportunities. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, discipline, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. There will be moments of frustration, times when you feel stuck, when progress seems slow, but that's part of the process. Growth isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master started as a student. The difference between those who excel and those who don't is persistence. The willingness to keep going, to keep practicing, to keep pushing even when it feels difficult. Surrounding yourself with the right people makes a difference. Learning from those who are ahead of you, seeking mentorship, asking questions, and staying open to feedback accelerates growth. The fastest way to level up is to be around people who challenge and inspire you, people who push you to do better, who hold you accountable, who encourage you to step up. Growth is not a solo journey. It's fueled by the people you learn from and the environment you choose to be in. Complacency is the enemy of progress. The moment you start thinking you know enough, that you've reached your peak, that there's nothing more to learn, that's the moment you start falling behind. The most successful people in the world never stop learning. They read, they take courses, they practice, they stay curious. They understand that skills are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they get. And the moment you stop working on them, they begin to fade. The only person responsible for your growth is you. No one is going to hand you success. No one is going to push you every day to get better. It has to come from within. The opportunities you want, the dreams you have, the success you envision, they are all waiting for you on the other side of effort. But effort without skill is wasted potential. If you want to rise, if you want to achieve more, if you want to stand out, You have to commit to developing your skills. Because at the end of the day, the people who win are the ones who never stop leveling up. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of transformation begins with a single decision: to choose courage over comfort. Comfort is safe, it's predictable, it requires no risk, no uncertainty, no struggle, but it also offers no growth. It keeps you exactly where you are, in the same routine, with the same results, living the same life. Courage, on the other hand, demands that you step into the unknown, that you face your fears, that you embrace discomfort and push past your limits. And that is where real change happens. It's easy to stay where things feel familiar. The job you don't love but don't hate, the dreams you put on hold because they seem too big, the opportunities you walk away from because they come with risk. These are all examples of comfort winning over courage. But deep down, you know you were made for more. You know that there's a bigger life waiting for you, one that requires you to step up, take chances, and trust yourself. And yet, fear holds you back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. But fear is just a story you tell yourself, a voice that convinces you that staying small is safer than taking a chance on yourself. The truth is, every person who has ever done something great has felt fear. No one is fearless. The difference is that successful people don't let fear stop them. They acknowledge it, they feel it, but they move forward anyway. They understand that fear is not a stop sign, it's a test. A test to see how badly you want something, to see if you are willing to push through the discomfort, to see if you are ready to grow into the person you are meant to be. Courage is not about being reckless. It's not about making impulsive decisions or ignoring risks. It's about having the strength to move forward despite uncertainty. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that no matter what happens, you can handle it. That even if you fail, you will learn. That even if things don't go as planned, you will find another way. Courage is believing in your ability to adapt, to rise, to keep going, even when the outcome is unknown. Choosing courage means taking action even when you don't feel ready. If you wait until you feel 100% prepared, you will wait forever. No one ever feels fully ready before they take a leap. Readiness comes through action. Confidence is built through experience. The only way to become good at something is to start doing it, to take that first step, to embrace the discomfort of being a beginner. Growth and comfort cannot exist in the same space. You cannot evolve while staying in the same place. Every time you choose comfort, you choose to remain the same. Every time you choose courage, you choose to become more. You choose to expand, to challenge yourself, to reach for something greater. The path of courage is not always easy. It will require sacrifice. It will ask you to let go of the familiar, to face setbacks, to get back up when you fall. But every step you take outside your comfort zone makes you stronger. It builds resilience, confidence, and the kind of self-belief that cannot be shaken. Your dreams, your goals, your full potential, they all exist on the other side of fear. The only way to get there is to stop choosing what is easy and start choosing what is right. To stop letting fear control your decisions and start letting courage guide you. Because at the end of the day, the people who achieve the most are not the ones who played it safe. They are the ones who dared to be bold, who faced fear head on, who chose courage over comfort every single time. Here's an expanded version of Believe in the Power of Now in 600 words. Life is happening in this very moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not someday in the distant future, right now. Yet so many people live in a constant state of waiting for the perfect time, waiting until they feel ready, waiting for some magical moment when everything falls into place. But the truth is that moment will never come unless you create it. The only time you have is now. The only power you have is in this moment, in the decisions you make today, in the actions you take right now. There is a dangerous illusion that time is endless, that we have all the days in the world to chase our dreams, fix our mistakes, and become the person we want to be. But time does not wait. It moves forward whether you take action or not. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. Every opportunity you hesitate on is a chance that might never come again. The more you postpone your goals, the further they slip away. The more you delay becoming the best version of yourself, the more you remain stuck in the same cycle, watching life pass you by instead of stepping forward to claim it. The future is not something you wait for, it is something you create, and the way you create it is by taking action in the present. Everything you dream of achieving, everything you want to experience, every goal, every ambition, it all starts with what you do right now. There is no right time to start. There is no perfect moment when everything aligns. The only way to make progress is to take a step, no matter how small, today. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. The habit of waiting becomes stronger, the fear of taking action becomes more overwhelming, and before you know it, years pass and you're still in the same place. Still wishing, still hoping, but never actually moving. Success doesn't come from planning endlessly, overthinking every detail, or waiting for a guarantee. It comes from movement. It comes from starting before you're ready. It comes from trusting that you will figure things out as you go. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who had everything perfectly planned out from the beginning. They are the ones who started despite uncertainty. They are the ones who believed in the power of now and took action even when they didn't have all the answers. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people hesitate. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping outside of the comfort zone. But fear does not disappear with time. If anything, the longer you wait, the more it grows. The only way to silence fear is to act in spite of it, to move forward, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because every time you choose action over fear, you become stronger. Every time you take a step forward, you build confidence, and confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you develop by proving to yourself again and again that you are capable. There will never be a better time than now. There will never be a moment where everything is perfectly aligned. But what you do have is this moment, this opportunity, this chance to start. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to take a massive leap. All you have to do is begin. A small action, a simple step, a decision to move forward today. Because life is not meant to be lived in the waiting room of someday. It is meant to be lived fully, boldly, and with the understanding that now is all you truly have. And when you choose to believe in the power of now, everything begins to change.